Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a busy time these past few days in the Excel esports world. We have had 3 cases in just over the past 24 hours. So on my channel, you can hopefully see quite a few new things coming up over the next few weeks. Today, we are going to take a look at the latest case in the Road to Las Vegas series called Lost Instructions. It was a very fun case by Peter Scharl. And the premise of this is basically this. You are given 25 answer sheets. I'll just show you a couple there. Level 1 or player 1, player 3, player 4, and so on. And you are trying to work out what the correct answers were to these questions. We don't have the correct answers. We also don't have the instructions. As you can see here, the instructions simply say lost. What we do have is we do have some hints from the FMWC crew to tell us what the correct answers should be. And so in this case, not only do we need to find what the correct answers should be, but we also need to answer a certain question ourselves to submit for each level. So a really fun case, a very different kind of style than what we are used to seeing, but really excited to get this going. If you take a look at the scores, we had a lot of really high scores. I missed one bonus question, and I ended up landing somewhere around 27th or 29th. I don't remember exactly. So competition has stepped up a lot. With all that being said, let's go ahead and let's give this case a try, and let's see how long we can take to solve all of the levels. Here we go. Level 1 tells us that for each game, the given player's guess is the correct answer, and that our answer should be the same as the correct answer. Now, before I go through solving this level, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean up my data. I'm going to put it all together into one sheet. So that way it's going to be easy for me to work with all throughout. Now it's going to be a little bit messy. You're going to see a few indirect formulas in there, but it shouldn't be too much that it's going to affect my computation speed. Now once I got that, you're going to see some named ranges. You're going to see A's for answers that the players had given, Q's for the questions that are being asked, and then P's for the player numbers. And you're going to see an index formula. I'm going to use these 3 ranges in an index formula. You're going to see it happen pretty much throughout the case, and it's going to make solving this a lot faster. Now level 2, the correct answer is the same. It is that player's given guess, but our answer should be the count of the players with the correct answer. So now that I already have these named ranges, I can find a simple row through an index formula, count the number of times that that correct answer shows up in that row, and that will give me the answer for level 2. Now for level 3, the correct answer is the same as that player's guess, but our answer is the sum of all the player numbers with that correct answer. So the correct answer part is going to be done the same way, but my answer part is I'm going to use a sum ifs statement. So sum the player numbers where their answers are equal to the correct answer. Now in level 4, we are told that the guess of the player who does not appear in the player number list is the correct answer. So we need to identify that one number that is not shown there. Now this is a nice little trick that I've learned from Dim. It is using that unique function, but that third argument is exactly once. So if I compare this list with a sequence list of 25 numbers, and then I find out which number shows up only once, meaning only showing up in the sequence and not in the player number list, that's going to tell me which player number is not actually shown there. I can use that to find the correct answer, and then I can use the same formula from the previous level to get the sum of all the player numbers with that answer. Now in level 5, the correct answer is the most frequent guess for all the players. Now this is a statistical measure. It is a mode of all the answers. So I'm going to use the mode function to find out which answer appears the most, use that for the correct answer, and since our answer is still the sum of all the player numbers, I can copy that formula from the previous level and use it here. Now for level 6, the correct answer is the average of the guesses for only the players in the player number list. So every question has a different number of players. I am going to use a text split to split out all of those players. And then, like I did similar with the index function, I'm going to use that index function again, and that split player list is going to then give me the answer for all of those players in each level. I can then use the average function to average those answers together. As long as I get an integer, as long as I get a full number, then I am comfortable with the answer that I've given. And since my answer is once again the sum of all the player numbers, I can use the same formula from the previous level to answer these questions. Now level 7 is a little bit more complicated. The correct answer is the average of the guesses for only the players on the player number list which are divisible by the given number with a remainder of 0. So I can use Excel's mod function here. What you're going to see is I'm going to split the player number list, and then I'm going to use a filter with the mod function. Basically I'm going to filter. I want only the numbers where the mod with the divisor is going to be equal to 0. That's going to work for most of my games, but you see here there's an additional prompt. If the given number is 0, the correct answer is the average of the guesses for only the players in the player number list that are prime numbers. Now, to my knowledge, Excel doesn't have an is prime formula. Maybe that's something I'm going to create myself as a lambda. So I'm going to have to write out all the prime numbers myself. That is risky. That involves a little bit of debugging. But once again, if I know my correct answer is an integer, is a full number, then I can feel confident with the player numbers that I get out. Once I get all of those player numbers out, I can do the same as I did with the previous level. Find their answers, find the average of those answers, and then once again sum all the player numbers who had the same answer as the correct answer. Bonus A asks, how many games in level 1 did player 1 get correct? I'm going to bring player 1's answers over to this sheet, compare them with the correct answers. The count that is correct is going to be my answer. Bonus B, which game number in level 4 did only one of the players get correct? Now, when I'm looking at my combined data set, I only brought over the question number. I didn't bring over the level, I didn't bring over the points, and I didn't bring over the correct answer in the sheet because I didn't have it yet. So I'm going to update my combined data sheet to include this information, and then also include a column for how many players got each question correct. Now, once I do that, then I can find the questions that only one player gets correct. I can see if I got the one from level 4, and that will then tell me the game number for this bonus. Bonus C, there was only one game number that all the players got correct. Which one is it? Now, since I already did this data in the previous bonus, all I need to do is look for the number 25. There are 25 players. Find which question has 25. That gets the answer to bonus C. Bonus D, how many points out of 1,000 did the winning player get? So now that I have all of the answers from all the players, I also have all of the correct answers, I'm going to create a second data set, which is the points that the players have got from each question. So I'm going to basically do their answers equal the correct answers. That's going to give me a true or false. I can then multiply that by the number of points to see how many points each player should have got per question. Now, using a by call function, I can by call and sum all of the columns for all of the points and then use the max to find out what the highest score was. And finally, bonus E, how many correct answers did the player with the most correct answers have? Now, for this one, I've actually done 90% of the work. All I need to do is, instead of multiply by the number of points, I'm just going to multiply by 1, say 1 point per question. That tells me how many questions that each person got. That will get me the answer to bonus E, and that will bring the complete solve to this case. Wow. It goes by much faster when you have a better idea of what's going on. I tell you, when they introduced this case, I had to watch the introduction video about 4 or 5 times to really understand what was going on in this case, and then start to get an idea in my head about what I'm going to do to approach it. But like I said at the beginning, it's a different concept, a different layout. I really enjoy this, as I've enjoyed all the cases. Peter Scharl is a very creative case maker, and once again, he knocked it out of the park. So thank you very much. Thank you, FMWC, for this other battle. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned next week for another video. Take care.
It's the Excel.